seat. If there's a seat open, raise your hand so people can get down and settled. And make sure you put your phone on silent. We don't want our program interrupted. And if you're in the main hall, we invite you to join us in the theater.
Yeah, I'm Emmanuel Garcia.
I'm Chandra Palmer, a board member of Crossroads Fund.
Yes, there's a little applause. And I'm the Development and Communication Director at Crossroads Fund.
Welcome to Seeds of Change, Strength in Community.
All right, well, how about that wonderful music from Joyce Faison, also known as Peaches? Yes, she was amazing, and the quartet. The talented musicians were Charlie Johnson on the keys, Ron Hall on the bass, Leonard Stroud on drums, and James Perkins on the saxophone. And what was Ryan playing? I don't know, but Ryan was playing something. But Peaches didn't give us Ryan's name, FYI, so I was not shading him. So just so you all know. Thank you for bringing joy into this event and sharing your talents with all of us.
And a big thank you to Malcolm X College for hosting us. And shout out to our ASL interpretation, Rivka Hozinski and Ann Stewart. Thank you for your wonderful interpretation. They're up there on the screen right here. And for being a part of our program tonight. Speaking of strength and community, Emmanuel, what is giving you strength right now?
Well, ooh, that's a good question. I love a good check-in question. I think right now it's seeing all of these beautiful people in the audience, not only here, but in the main room. And also that joy and resistance and grief can live together and hold us all. And so, yeah, I think that's what's giving me strength.
Great.
So there are so many ways that people have demonstrated strength this evening and this year, and we're going to honor some of that work tonight. But before we do, I would like to introduce you all to our fearless, strong, and sage leader, Jane Kimondo. Please welcome Jane. Jane be knowing.
Hey, everybody. That kind of got me off guard. I knew it was coming up, but not so soon. Thank you, Chandra and Emmanuel, for the warm welcome and the compliment of a strong sage leader. Thank you for getting us situated and being wonderful MCs for today's program. Hello, everybody. Hi. We're thrilled to have you in this room, and virtually, and in the next party room over there. What an honor. Thank you for showing up for movement tonight and every day. We are all we got. We are grateful to our communities of grantees, donors, friends of a friend, and philanthropic colleague. A special thank you to Crossroads Fund Board and the small but mighty Crossroads Fund staff, Alexis, Emmanuel, Joanna, Katie, Christina, Lizette, Makiko, and Nuha. If you're in the room, please stand up or raise your hands. Crossroads Fund board and staff are the most supportive individuals and are a joy to work with. And at this particular moment, the folks to be mutual care with. Seeds of Change is different this year. As many of you know, we lost our dear friend, colleague, and program director, Michael Aguha, suddenly due to a medical emergency 3 weeks ago. We're still grappling with the shock and the heartbreak. We're in deep gratitude for all of you who have called us, sent us a text or an email, brought us food, held us in prayer, and contributed to the GoFundMe, and in so many other ways. This support has meant a lot to us, and we do apologize for not responding to your messages sooner. When Michael joined Crossroads Fund in August 2019, after his tenure at the Alliance of Filipino for Immigrant Rights and Empowerment, AFIRE, where he served as a staff attorney, deputy director, and executive director. And he also played a key role in passing the Illinois Domestic Workers Bill of Rights. We asked Michael, why are you joining Crossroads Fund at this time and not venturing into a law practice? Michael said he felt that he still had so much in him to offer to local organizing and movements in Chicago. He was right. He brought a passion for justice, a commitment to grassroots organizing, and a dedication to strengthening organization structures fully. Some of you know Michael through grant making, capacity building program, the Chain Breakers Fund, through Grassroots Protecting Surveillance Initiative, or through the Giving Project. In all these roles and many more, Michael developed deep relationships with people he was partnering with. He made people aware of his deep care for them and his commitment to the issues that they were working on. Michael was also active in local philanthropy, always engaging his peers in deep conversation on redistribution of wealth at their foundations, how they could incorporate organizing in their portfolios, and how they could insert political analysis geared towards liberation and equity for all in their work, or just being their friend. As a community leader, he served in multiple capacities in many organizations, including as a community advisor or a board member for organizations such as Filipino American Lawyers Association of Chicago, the Global Asian Studies Program at the University of Illinois, Chicago, Midwest Immigration Bond Fund, and One Northside. Loss is woven through so many of our struggles, and yet we keep moving forward, drawing strength for those who come before us, their courage, their wisdom, and their lives they lived lighting the way. Michael is now an ancestor. We miss him. We miss his calmness, his willingness to always listen deeply, his firm belief in liberation for all. We miss revisiting his vision of the world where community care, redistribution of wealth, joy, dancing, art, musical, and mangoes are easily accessible to everyone. I personally miss Michael, the serious moments, the insightful moments, and the not so serious moments, such as when Michael would tell me that he's not our lawyer and we are not paying him lawyer rates when given legal suggestions, because it can never be legal advice at the rate that we were not paying him. In those instances, we'd go back and forth with each other, me telling him that he cannot unknow the law, that he should give his legal profession advice freely. Zen Michael, as I often called him, not sure if he knew this, but now he does, would say, I mean, it'll be fine. And it always was. So I invite you to take a moment of silence to reflect on your joyful moments with Michael and what it means to you at this moment. For those who did not get a chance to know him, please think of a loved one and the joys that they bring to you. We want to publicly express our condolences and gratitude to Irina, Michael's partner, and their toddler daughter Zoya, who are with us here tonight. Somewhere at the back. Thank you, Irina and Zoya, for being here and for inviting us to walk on this sacred journey of honoring and celebrating Michael with you. We hope that most of you have visited the Remembrance and Altar Room by the registration area. If not, please feel free to visit, write a message, reflection for Irina, Zoya, and Crossroads Fund. There's so much more that we could say about Michael, and we know that many of you also have your own memories about the impact he had on your life. We'll be sharing these and other stories at the celebration of life in Michael's honor on April 25th. Please look out for the invite and additional information. So when staff was preparing for Seeds of Change this year, we struggled on how to balance the spirit of the event, given the state of the world and the grief that we at the Crossroads family were carrying in our bodies. What is the balance between celebrating the work and grieving? What is the balance between our current political reality that is rooted in distraction and extraction, while our desire is a world that is generative and creative? What is the balance to never-ending wars where children are targeted, as we have seen in Gaza and Iran, and our commitment to a future that is free for all forms of violence, and one that safeguards everyone's innate humanity? What is the balance between voting during these primaries, elections, while the current state of democracy seems shaky and not aligned with the ideals that we hold to be true? We might not get the balance right tonight of both celebrating the work of our grantees while honoring our own grief. The balance we do know is that we're the right people at the right time doing the right thing. So tonight we celebrate 3 amazing organizations who are steadfast in their work for justice, believing that housing is a human right and that neighborhood development should not come with displacements of long-term residents. That journalists should be truth tellers at a time when it is risky to speak the truth, and that everyone should have access to legal services that are abolitionist in nature. Before we honor the grantees that we're so proud to honor tonight, we'd like to uplift 2 other movement individuals that have become ancestors in recent months. Assata Shakur, a freedom fighter who lived in exile in Cuba, which is currently facing increased sanctions and threats of attack. Assata reminds us that it is our duty to fight for our freedom. It is our duty to win, and that we have nothing to lose but the chains. Yes. The other ancestor is Chicago's very own Reverend Jesse Jackson, who reminds us that we are somebody. In his honor, can we all affirm that we are somebody as loudly as we can 3 times by saying, I am somebody? 1, 2, 3. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. That's my line. Thank you so much for being here tonight, for always supporting us. Congrats to our awardees. Be well and keep hope alive. Thank you so much.
Keep hope alive. Can I hear you say keep hope alive?
Thank you, Jane, and thank you again for your fearless leadership and all of our Crossroads board and staff.
Camera.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I forgot. You know, you just caught up
not
in
to
all
be
the
too
emotion
far apart.
and Jane's really beautiful words about Michael. Emmanuel, did you get blown away today?
Almost. That wind was crazy. But it actually reminds me of one of my favorite chants, which I want you all to join me in. Let's see how Duolingo, if you all did your Duolingo during the Bad Bunny performance in January. So we're gonna test it out. It's broken up into 3 phrases. So the first phrase is, ni la lluvia,
Ni la lluvia,
ni el viento
ni el viento,
detienen al movimiento.
Dientamiento.
Okay, yes. You get 500 joules or whatever you get for that. So in English, it's neither rain nor the wind can stop the movement, we will win. Neither rain nor the wind can stop the movement, we will win. Nor the wind can stop the movement, we will win. Yes. Give it up for yourself. There are so many examples of strength in community. How about those rapid response teams? Yes. Anyone part of a rapid response? We celebrate all of the thousands of volunteers making whistles, know your rights packages, people making sure that neighbors are getting groceries, getting to school safely, pick up and drop off support. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
People boycotting, holding their wallets to apply public pressure and demand corporate policy changes. Just because you saw a headline saying that the Target boycott is over, it is not. Keep boycotting.
People providing food and housing, mutual aid, donating to community bail funds. Communities, building mutual aid networks. To support trans youth and their families under transphobic attacks, yes. And shout out to all the volunteers knocking on doors, making calls, and talking with neighbors to help get out the vote. Your time, energy, and belief in our communities helps keep a strong, progressive voice in government across Chicago and beyond. If you're able to vote, make a plan to show up on March 17th.
And at Crossroads Fund, we have many examples of strength. With over 231 grassroots organizations we have funded in our last fiscal year.
How many?
231.
How many?
231.
I didn't hear that.
231.
That's right. And by fundraising, by pooling our resources, Crossroads Fund, a public foundation, was able to redistribute $4.2 million.
What was that?
$4.2 million.
I didn't hear that.
$4.2 million across those 231 groups. That definitely deserves some love.
Now we're going to transition into honoring our awardees tonight. Every year, we use our annual fundraiser, Seeds of Change, to celebrate amidst difficult times, to give flowers that are due to our people, knowing there is still so much to be done. Our first award for the evening is the Lynda J. Tipton Memorial Award for Social Justice. Throughout her life, Lynda was an activist for social justice as the member of the Chicago Women's Liberation Union. She served as a group leader for the Liberation School, a space for women to develop leadership, create accessible political art, and provide pregnancy tests before abortion was legalized in the 1970s. Lynda worked as a secretary while attending the University of Chicago and as a union rep with SEIU Local 73. She worked alongside her fellow clerical, janitorial, technician staff at several Chicago hospitals to achieve liberation for all. Lynda shared many of the values and ideals we hold at Crossroads Fund. She understood the movement for women's liberation and includes the key factors of race, class, and sexual orientation. Tonight, we are proud to present the Lynda J. Tipton Award for Social Justice to the TRiiBE.
Yes. In the spirit, in the spirit of the Black abolitionist press newspapers like Freedom's Journal and Frederick Douglass's North Star, which insisted that Black communities must plead our own cause, today's Black news outlets continue a long tradition of truth-telling, advocacy, and community accountability. In Chicago, that legacy lives on through institutions like the Chicago Defender, which helped shape the Great Migration and gave voice to Black political life in the city. That's right. Today, the TRiiBE carries that tradition forward through community-centered journalism that reports on culture, politics, and grassroots organizing while amplifying voices often overlooked by mainstream media. The TRiiBE is an award-winning digital publication and production company founded in 2017 by Morgan Elise Johnson, Tiffany Walden, and David Tilu. Aimed at reshaping the narrative of Black Chicago, the TRiiBE addresses racism and systemic harms while uplifting Black creativity and resistance. The TRiiBE team, including Morgan Elise Johnson, the publisher, Tiffany Walden, editor-in-chief, Tonya Hall, systemic racism reporter, Corley Joy, community investment reporter, and Jeremy Rome J. Johnson, cultural correspondent, have produced thousands of articles and artworks reaching millions globally. Several members of the TRiiBE team have been recognized for their work, including Tonya Hall, who was named Chicago Breakout Journalist of the Year, Morgan Elise Johnson and Tiffany Walden, who won the Sarah Brown Boyden Award, and Johnson, who was also honored as one of the Chicago Defender's Women of Excellence, reflecting the publication's impact in community-centered journalism and storytelling. Since their launch, the TRiiBE has published a magazine, maintained a local business database, issued newsletters, and hosted outreach events. Yes, with that small team. Following the COVID-19 pandemic and 2020 uprisings, the TRiiBE was created as a platform to tell nuanced, solution-driven stories about Black lives, countering harmful narratives, portrayals. And the Crossroads Fund honors them for successfully doing just that. Here's a clip of their work. Please welcome the one and only Morgan Elise Johnson to accept the award.
Thank you so much, everyone, for this great honor. As co-founder and publisher of the TRiiBE, I have to say that I'm so grateful to the city of Chicago for embracing us as a newsroom following in the Black abolitionist tradition. Thank you. I don't know that we would have been able to create the TRiiBE anywhere else because other newsrooms embraced us early in our journey. I don't know if y'all were there, but we would partner with the Chicago Reader, and we did a series with them that helped to get our name out in the beginning. Our alma mater, Northwestern, wrote about us in their magazine, and we felt so uplifted by the communities around us. We thought that the TRiiBE would be something like a Chicago version of Vibe magazine when we started. But in 2020, that changed everything. We thought we need to go a little bit deeper. We embraced our mission statement to reshape the narrative of Black Chicago in pursuit of truth and liberation. And the COVID-19 pandemic, along with the uprisings following the killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, had us out in the streets with the movement for Black Lives. Our team covered those protests day in and day out, and we began to connect with the city and grassroots movements in a much deeper way. I have to say that for me, my background is actually in filmmaking, so I'm a non-traditional publisher. I didn't even know what that meant when I started this work. And I can't say that being a newsroom manager was my dream job, okay? Every day, I'm learning how to become who I am. And with the TRiiBE, I'm realizing that we are much more than a news outlet. We never were meant to be that. We always were supposed to be about community and about narrative, and specifically narrative change. So we began to develop philosophies around journalism and what's right about it and what's wrong with it and what's anti-Black about it and what's non-inclusive about it. We began to scan the dominant narratives. And we decided that we can't cover everything, so we have to make choices. So when we would identify a dominant narrative like Black people and crime coverage and how that work is done, we would target that and make an editorial strategy around that and say, we want to make a difference here. We're either going to deepen this narrative around crime or we're going to disrupt it altogether. And you all have been right there with us, sharing our work and being disruptors with us. So I just want to thank you all for your support. And I want to ask you to support us a little bit more. We really need you at this time. We're definitely in a crossroads. I want to acknowledge my team who's been with us every step of the way, working so hard every day. And for those of you who want to support the TRiiBE, please become a member, because as a leader, I have to say, we have been leading from a place of lack and making it look really, really good. So I'm asking for you to find a way to support us today so that we can better support our team, because I want to be a better leader every day. So thank you so much.
Apologies. There we go. It is with great pleasure I present to you the next award of the evening, the Ron Sable Award for Activism. Ron Sable was at the forefront of health activism in Chicago. He began his work in the mid-'70s, co-founding the first comprehensive HIV/AIDS clinic at Cook County Hospital. In 1987, Ron was the first openly gay candidate to run for alderman in Chicago. His role as a physician galvanized into a political force and became a catalyst for community activism. Although he didn't win, the seeds of his campaign have blossomed today. Chicago has the most LGBTQ identifying officials out of any city council in the US. Woo, right? Ron was a champion for LGBTQ. Wow, I'm feeling nervous today. I can read, folks. Especially as a queer person, I definitely can do this. So for LGBTQ plus rights, civil rights, universal health care, reproductive rights, the just treatment of incarcerated people. He served on the Crossroads Fund Board of Directors for 10 years, and we are proud to memorialize his commitment to justice and advocacy with this award. Tonight, we honor a group who reflects Ron's commitment to progressive change in Chicago, the interconnectedness of our fight for justice. This year's Ron Sable Award for Activism goes to the Obama Community Benefits Agreement.
Thank you, Shana. All right. Can I hear you all say, stop displacement of Black families? Stop displacement of Black families. Stop displacement of Black families. Stop displacement of Black families. For decades, Black communities on Chicago's South Side have faced systemic housing discrimination, from redlining and predatory lending to displacement driven by gentrification in large-scale development projects, threatening long-standing neighborhoods and community stability. The Obama Community Benefits Agreement Coalition took action when the Obama Foundation announced in 2016 that Jackson Park would host its presidential library. While this news excited locals, it also raised concerns about excluding low-income residents from jobs and benefits and fears of rising rents displacing Black families. That's right. The coalition sought commitments from the Obama Foundation, the University of Chicago, and the city to ensure the development's benefits reach Woodlawn's longtime residents. They wanted job opportunities and housing protections for the neighborhood. Through years of persistent organizing, the Obama Community Benefits Agreement Coalition turned grassroots power into tangible victories for Southside communities. They won ordinances that protect long-standing Black residents from displacement, preserve and expand affordable housing, and ensure community voices shape development near the Obama Presidential Center. By securing land for affordable home ownership, creating programs for property repairs and tax relief, and establishing rights for tenants and local residents, the coalition demonstrated that sustaining community advocacy can hold developers and city officials accountable, proving that when residents organize, they can safeguard both neighborhoods and the future of their communities. Here's a clip of their work. Thank you, Obama Community Benefits Agreement Coalition, for all you do for our city. Please help me welcome Kiara Hardin and the mighty CBA team.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? My name is Kiera, and for the past 5 years, I have had the honor of serving as the South Shore CBA campaign chair. In that time, yes, what an honor. In that time, I have had the privilege of witnessing something powerful. The growth of my peers, the resilience of my community, and the strength that emerges when people refuse to give up on one another. We have endured turmoil, we have worked through frustrations, we have navigated the difficult process of merging two organizations while trying to hold on to a shared vision. And through it all, from those early struggles to the diligent work required to pass the Jackson Park Housing Ordinance, we stayed rooted in one truth. We stood together. Southside together. Yes. My personal journey into this fight began in 2021. At that time, I was living on 69th and Credier, moving from place to place, searching for an apartment that I could actually afford. I kept looking and looking, but nothing worked out. So I shifted my plan and tried to become a homeowner instead. Still, everything felt out of reach. One day, I found a flyer on my car. It was announcing a meeting about the demands for the South Shore Community Benefits Agreement. I was already familiar with the work happening in Woodlawn and the very public no Obama had given to the idea to now Alderwoman Taylor. Still, something about the flyer stayed with me, so I went to the meeting. And that's when our journey began. Boots on the ground took a whole new meaning during those early days, canvassing with the Dixon, one of our pioneers. If you know, you know. Yes. It means more than just organizing, right? It's a commitment. It's doing things that made me personally uncomfortable, but helped shift my perspective. It was the long nights and early mornings. It was the driving blocks after block. It was the looking up names on the apartment buildings, the knocking on the doors, the having the conversations after conversations about the power we as people hold. It was the teachings at the libraries where we witnessed our neighbors become stronger at identifying the power that they have. Those moments moved me. Those moments moved all of us. And I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge those who walked this path with us but are no longer here in the physical sense. Our ancestors like Miss Williams and others who, yes, we gotta applaud Miss Williams. And others who have poured their love and labor into this movement. Their spirit is still present in this work. Their courage still guides us. It helps us grow. And girl, we have grown. What started as small meetings and conversations became something much longer. We grew to the point where our voices could not be ignored. We found ourselves sitting across the table from not just one, but two mayoral administrations demanding that our community be heard. When the Woodlawn Ordinance passed in 2020, it sparked something bigger. It opened the door to conversations about what expansion could really look like. And that mattered. Why, you asked? You didn't, but you know, you want to know why. Because South Shore had originally been included in that vision, right? Only to be pushed out. We refused to allow it to happen again. The road to achieving this ordinance was hard, full stop. With 88% of the community showing up, participating in 7 referendums to say clearly and collectively that they supported this work, we witnessed literal fights between alders. They were slapboxing, y'all. Literally. We saw pay opposition reserve library rooms just so that we could not utilize them, allegedly. We watched last-minute deals unfold between powerful real estate interests. Every step of the way, there were obstacles placed in front of us. But even with all of that, we won. We are able to... Look at this. Yes. Woo! We were able to win protections for almost half of South Shore, new protections for Woodlawn, and reinforce things that we won in 2020. We won because of our collective will. We won because of our organizing and tenant power. We won because we refused to let anyone decide our future without us. Period. Our self-determination carried us this far, but let me be clear, the fight is not over. Our coalition will continue to ensure that what we won is enforced and implemented, and that tenant protections that we did not win at this time we will get in the coming years. Not just for our neighborhood, but for a coalition across the city. Because ultimately, rent is too damn high. Yes. Our self-determination wills us to also fight against the quantum facility coming in South Shore and South Chicago. Just as we deserve the right to afford where we live, we deserve the right to have our to not have our energy bills rise, and our air and water poisoned for the development that we do not want or need. We will fight and win. Yes, yes, applaud, applaud. We will fight and win to stop the facility and have the people decide where the billions of dollars of investment should go in our community. Again, my name is Kiara Harden, and I want to thank you. We want to thank you for honoring the CBA Coalition with the Ron Sable Award. We appreciate all of the support and everyone here, particularly the Crossroads Foundation.
Our final award is the Donald F. Erickson Synapses Award. Crossroads Fund is grateful and honored to remember Don Erickson and his work for social change through this award. He taught geography, history, and social studies at Calumet High School. A longtime Crossroads Fund donor, he was also a committed activist for peace and justice, working to end human rights violations across the globe. We are honored to present the Donald F. Erickson Synapses Award to First Defense Legal Aid.
Yes. All right. First Defense Legal Aid, FDLA, is Chicago's pioneering legal first responder, mobilizing lawyers and community members to protect the rights of people detained by police and over-policed neighborhoods. Founded in 1995 to create the nation's first police station defense hotline, FDLA connects anyone arrested directly to free legal counsel before they speak to authorities. Today, the organization continues this mission through its 24/7 Help Not Jail hotline, peer-led Know Your Rights workshops, a civil rights clinic challenging systemic abuse, policy advocacy, and leadership development, providing holistic legal support wherever state violence and overreach occur. FDLA's Civil Rights Clinic tackles systemic injustice through both individual representation and targeted impact litigation. Recent victories include the Ortiz versus Chicago class action lawsuit challenging racially discriminatory ShotSpotter deployment. A 2020 settlement in Let Us Breathe Collective versus City of Chicago that led to historic reforms in attorney and phone access at police facilities. Yes. And a Title VI case ensuring Berwyn Police provide professional interpreters for residents with limited English proficiency. They also represent plaintiffs in federal cases protecting communities from retaliatory or indiscriminate use of force by law enforcement, demonstrating their ability to enforce accountability at every level of government. Beyond the courtroom, FDLA invests in community empowerment and systemic change. Their Know Your Rights trainings educate neighbors, returning citizens, and youth about navigating encounters with police, while leadership programs cultivate emerging civil rights lawyers, social workers, and activists. Through coordinated advocacy, legal support at protests, and defense against mass enforcement actions, including federal immigration and local police operations, FDLA ensures that residents not only survive state overreach, but also shape the policies that affect their neighborhoods. Crossroads Fund honors their work, which exemplifies a model of legal defense rooted in justice, community, and prevention, transforming radical organizing into lasting protections for Chicagoans.
I got snatched by CPD. Seem like they following me. I asked for my call. Bar says stop bothering me. 800 Laura 4. Thank God my homie called for me.
Think of what you have in store when you call 1-800-LOVE-4. You can get a lawyer.
Call them up.
If you in Chicago. 1-800-LOVE-4.
Call them up.
1-800-LOVE-4.
All right, so now it's your turn. 1-800-LAW-RED-4. 1-800-LAW-RED-4. 1-800-LAW-RED. Come on, I can't hear you. 1-800-LAW-RED-4. 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 All right, accepting on behalf of the First Defense Legal Aid, please join us in welcoming Lynda J and the incredible First Defense Legal Aid team.
That was a throwback right there. Good evening, everyone. Buenos tardes. Salam alaikum. Now that we're all here, on behalf of our community, team, staff, and board at First Defense Legal Aid, I thank you, Crossroads Fund, for consistently being the backbone and resource for our people. When communities are under extreme threat, and no matter how unpopular it is, you've always stood on the side of the oppressed, taking the heed and lead of communities and movements. I hope in this period that we're in, other foundations can take your lead and learn from your ways to not capitulate or give in to a politics of despair or despondency. Thank you to our incredible FDLA team. Grounded, principled, who make the work possible, consistently do the work and show up. And I would like to personally thank my family, children, partner, mama, jaltos, the aunties,
chosen family and blood, and our community for the support they have given us. Me and the FDLA team dedicate this award to Crossroads Program Director, Michael Aguhad. He embodied the spirit of a first offender, an attorney who understood the arbitrary injustice system. Michael was an organizer first, attorney second, people's advocate no matter the space he was in. Michael embodied indigenous wisdom and leadership, supporting the building of collective power, never the personality-driven leader at the helm, but a weaver behind the scenes, building webs of relationships, connection, depth, and radical compassion. A listening ear, always ready to support vision and build beyond individual projects, but instead build deep infrastructure and ecosystems, knowing that our interwoven connectedness is what's necessary to thrive and build the communities and world we all dream to live in. We also dedicate this award to the people systematically abducted, tortured, disappeared, or tortured, and to one of those people, our early FDLA jailhouse lawyer, Charles Jones, one of the vanguards of street law, or Know Your Rights in Chicago, and to the people and families impacted by U.S. state violence here and abroad, be it in Austin, Inglewood, Southeast Chicago, South Shore, Little Village, Brighton Park, Chicago Lawn, to El Fasher in Sudan, to Havana, Cuba, to Gaza and Jenin in Palestine, and to Manab, where the little girl's school was hit with double-tap missiles from the United States and Iran, Beirut, and beyond. During the month of Ramadan, and as we stand here in Malcolm X College, one of our ancestors, Stan Willis, actually was part of the fight and struggle to get this college named Malcolm X College. May he rest in peace. As Brother Malcolm taught us, state violence or U.S. imperialism that the U.S. exports abroad boomerangs and comes back to terrorize and occupy our neighborhoods and cities. Whether it's through local police departments who train in paramilitary tactics, use excessive force, and employ military-level surveillance on the west and south sides, or federal ICE agents abducting, disappearing, and deporting people to black site prisons, leading to one among many family separation, maybe for the rest of people's lives. Or the very same Chicago police officers who detained and tortured our loved ones here in Chicago then went to Guantanamo and used those same torture methods. In both cases, people were abducted, detained, and denied access to due process, justice, or a lawyer. At FDLA, we know that state violence is a single, interconnected, arbitrary, layered system, as opposed to what they may want to have us believe, isolated, separate incidents or events that impact people over there and not people over here. And so while federal agents occupied our neighborhoods across Chicagoland, terrorizing our migrant siblings and our black families in places like South Shore and right outside our office at the Westside Justice Center, the conditions in Logan Correctional Center and Broadview Detention got worse beyond imagination. All our prisoners are political prisoners, from Cook County to Logan to Menard to Broadview to Maryville to Big Muddy to Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq. And so now, more than ever now, building a community of trust, a united front across our communities is needed more than ever. Our call to action must be to learn the lessons of the past, understand what no longer serves us as movements or communities, and build movement and community infrastructure that serves as a living alternative to the injustice system. Holding the long view, knowing that our actions today are the seeds planted for generations to come. We must build healthy ecosystems for movement with infrastructure and backing in every sector of life and society. from the mutual aid hubs being started on the West Side and in the South Shore, to the Know Your Rights political education, I see you, Drew, happening on each block, to the massive rapid response networks led by our partners and siblings at ICER and among others. We need interconnected neighborhood networks with block-by-block organizing rooted in the ecology of our neighborhoods, connected across the city, region, country, and world. We must build communities of deep trust, weaving a united front where every single person has a role to play. Solidarity is essential to our collective existential survival. People engage in multiple fronts and streams, holding on to each other towards our collective liberation. Our security is in our organization and deep connective interdependence to one another. The what, the why, and the how are equally important in the ways we build and move. The long-term building with the broad view and eye to generations to come is equally critical and needed as the first defense or urgent response work to help us survive. We must divest from war and militarism abroad and here in our own neighborhoods, in our schools, in our jobs, and even in the ways it seeps into how we work, how we move, and how we replicate asymmetric power. And instead decolonize through practice, investing in our communities, our people's material transformation, build collective power and our shared liberation right here, right now. We have a wealth of our people's wisdom and practices to turn to not only imagine a different world, but embody it in real time. It's Ella Baker and Fannie Lou Hamer who taught us trust is a discipline. An embodied practice. Our movements are led by communities of trust and intergenerational organizing. And our indigenous elders here on Turtle Island taught us we must have the long view across generations. We move at the speed of our trust, and that must be rooted in our webs of relationship, interconnection, and love to each other and the land. At FDLA, we know full well the role of attorneys is to be a tool, a defense, an anti-repression arm for communities under the boot of state violence. We are a bridge, we are weavers, simultaneously building against systems of punishment, domination, colonialism, and control. There is much work to do, and we will keep filing cases, organizing with political education, know your rights, until another world is realized. This was our work with our dear Michael. Our compass is Black liberation rooted in the wisdom and knowledge that this is a matter of our existential survival for all people. We don't have a choice. As longtime political prisoner and brother Mumia Abu Jamal says, the greatest form of sanity that anyone can exercise is to resist that force that is trying to repress, oppress, and fight down this human spirit. So we must stand empowered together in the tradition that Chicago holds long of the Panthers, the Young Lords, and our connections to our Zapatistas siblings in Mexico, and the liberation struggles from across the world. We say power to the people, to all our people. And as the people of Gaza teach us what it is to live and love life, glory to all our martyrs from Chicago to across the globe. Thank you.
All right, let's go, let's go, let's go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Congratulations again to the TRiiBE. Yes, Obama Community Benefits Agreement Coalition and the First Defense Legal Aid. Shout out.
Well, we're not done yet. I have to thank everyone in the theater, the main hall, and online tonight. We deeply appreciate your support of the Crossroads Fund and the many grantees we work alongside. We rely on this community to strengthen our grassroots groups in pursuit of justice and liberation and change, not charity.
All right, well, I didn't wear these shoulder pads for nothing. So So we have one final ask. Our goal this year at Seeds of Change is to raise $250,000.
Or more.
Or more, yes. We're 67% of the way there.
6, 7. I was forced to do this.
We've raised over $150,000, but we're still close to closing our gap. So there's a couple of volunteers, and I think there was a number that we gave out in the beginning. How much did we redistribute in our last fiscal year, Chandra?
$4.2 million to 231
groups.
grantees.
That's right. And this year we've made a big commitment to provide multi-year support to those groups. So we would like to start with $1,000. Do we have a generous donation of $1,000? I see it. I feel it.
I feel it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Can someone match that $1,000? Can someone add the 1K to the 1K to make it 2K? I believe you can.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Thank you so much. All right. So we mentioned that we funded 231 groups.
Right.
And we want to know that when those groups reapply for funding, that we can confidently say yes. That we can confidently say, yes, we will fund you. So do we have $500?
500.
500. 500.
Right.
Do we have another 500? Someone want to make it 1,000 by matching that person at 500?
All right, Mecca.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. All right. So we have a couple of programs at Crossroads Fund. One is the Giving Project, Cultivate Women of Color Leadership Program. Yes, shout out. We want to see if someone wants to make a contribution of $100. 100?
Great.
100?
Oh, yeah, a lot of hands going up. Fantastic.
Oh, everyone's got the Benjamins. Okay, 100. I should have started there. But now, let's make that $1,000, right? So let's
add another zero.
Let's add
before
up
the decimal.
a couple more. All right, thank you so much. We also have a couple of sustainers.
Yes.
Are you a sustainer at Crossroads Fund? Someone
Anybody?
giving monthly?
Who's a sustainer in this room? Raise your hand.
There you go.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your support.
Can we get a couple people to become sustainers at $5, $10, $20 a month? It all adds up, and we really appreciate it.
5, 10, 20, any amount will add up over time. Yes. It's adding up, yes. Okay, we have another sustainer. That's great. That we have over 150 sustainers at Crossroads Fund, so you're definitely adding to that group. Yeah. So tonight, whatever you want to give, whatever loose change you might have, whatever you have in your purse, in your coat pocket, we'll take it. If there's a little Cheeto in there, we'll take it too. Whatever you have at the way out, there's so many QR codes that you can scan either on the screen, on the walls, on the way out. Please do so. Remember that we're really a public foundation. We rely on fundraising. There is no hidden money we're just sitting on. So please, please, please continue to support grassroots organizations, continue to support movements, and thank you so much. Yes? Yeah. Good night. Enjoy dessert.